Landmines and jellyfish, welcome back to Knives, I guess, and if no one's told you you're beautiful today, I'm certainly not about to start. But we just did a live stream and we went in on a second Stormpooper. So, if you saw the video that I did on the first Stormpooper when that happened, which is going to be this one right here with the replacement missing screw, when I started that live stream, we pulled, and let me check my notes, we pulled a 456 on the edge on the tester before we started. Now, this led me to believe that I had damaged this thing, losing control of it, flipping it opening and closed, and slamming it open as hard as I could to try to damage the pivot, the lock, or the stop pin or something. And it hit the floor and it hit my car window, so I know it bounced off some stuff. And after 20 minutes of cutting, it was a 521. So I had mentioned on the last Cardboard Slayer Aftermath video that I was going to go back in on a brand new one on a factory edge and see if I indeed damaged it, and it looks like I did. So we put the new edge on there and got it down to 105 on this one, and I think we did an 18-degree edge on it. And so that thing went for 2 hours and 45 minutes to get down to 450-ish. And at that point, it had good ergonomics for the first hour and a half on that before hotspots started showing up. So it did all right. It did what 3CR13 is supposed to do. We went in on this one, and on the brand new edge, we got 225 on the electronic tester. So we got 225 on the tester on the brand new edge, and we went for an hour, and it went down to 403. At an hour and 30 minutes, it was at 543, and an hour and 50 minutes, it went to 595. So, yes, it did. I did damage the first one, and on the factory edge, it did pretty damn good. That hour and 50 minutes was a bit on the long side for 3CR13, but it's kind of like the dropout where it's going to do a little better than expected for the steel, apparently. Now, I sharpened it on the brand new, just out of the box, and defrocked and deflowered the Precision Adjust Professional, and let me tell you right now, that thing was phenomenal. I've got to learn how to control the stones a little better and where the edges are, because I'm used to the Elite. The Elite has much smaller stones, so those wider stones, you can see here, marvel at my fail, I went way up into the plunge line here, and I hit the top of the thumb stud, which you can kind of see the paint missing there. On this side, it was easier to control because I could see right here, but on the other side, I really got a little carried away. But, and one of the things that I will say, and why I'm a proponent of a good stropping system, like I have got a 5-stage grip progression on diamond paste on my strops from 28 micron down to 2.5 micron. All right, just off of the work sharp with the provided strop, that was a 155 on the edge, which is pretty damn good. That's about what I got with the Elite, but it was faster and easier to get there. I took it to the strops and went through all of my strops and got it down to a 117. So we started cutting at 117, and we got a 363 after an hour. After 2 hours, we got to 516. At 2 hours and 20 minutes, it hit 538, and the cut started getting really, really bad. Like, the edge was pretty thoroughly devastated. I might could have gotten a little bit more mileage out of it. So between the 2 hours and 45 minutes at 18 degrees and the 2 hours and 20 minutes at 19 degrees, apparently this likes 18 degrees a hair better. But it did really good for 3CR13. It cut really well. It held onto its edge for a while for 3CR13. Not the best steel that we tested, but it did good for 3CR13. Now, the ergos. They showed up in force. So after about an hour or so, it started to hurt. You know, this part right here and this part right here started showing the wear and damage. It started getting really uncomfortable and not feeling great. But this right here, this took so much punishment. It hurt so badly after the first hour to keep cutting. And of course, I had to keep going to finish the test off. But my God, it hurt. I was in so much pain at the end of the first run and then sharpening it and starting back up again and going for another 2 hours and 20 minutes. It was so bad. But I got through it, and we sharpened this thing down to, I cannot remember, but it was like, it was a 115. We sharpened it down to 115 on the Professional. God, that thing is such a treat. The wider stones are so much nicer to have. The whole system works so much better. It's so much more rigid. It's just, oh, God, chef kiss. Thank you guys so much for that. Thank you. So, yeah, The knife itself did really good. I will say this is not the one you want in hand for prolonged, continuous, repeated cuts. The ergos will bite you it'll bite you in the nuts. Very uncomfortable ergonomically speaking for a lot of cuts, but for the first little while, it cut well and the ergonomics are okay. The coating on this definitely showing some wear. The coating on it definitely showed some wear. Like, it didn't all rub completely off like the way paint would, but the coating did show some wear. But of course, we got some copy paper. The end-all be-all is sharpness testing, so like, it took one hell of an edge. Just effortless. So like I said, the 3CR, this will take a hell of an edge. It won't hold on to it forever, but it's really forgiving to sharpen back up. And you can see, like, it takes one hell of a good edge. Like, it takes one hell of an edge. So, you know, this thing, you can sharpen it up to crazy sharp. You can sharpen it really well. It's very forgiving and easy to sharpen. A little bit gummy on your stones. It's going to feel a little bit sticky, but it sharpens up nicely. Like, it does great. So, again, I'll say, you know, for $5, you can't go wrong here. You know, the partial steel liners, they have drawn some flack, but if you do what it takes to break this thing like that, you've made a lot of mistakes leading up to that point in your life. I will say the next time I sharpen something on the professional, I'm going to be a lot more careful because, you know, this I don't care so much about. $5 knife, but a nicer knife that I care more about, this would be painful to see. This would be real painful. You know, the thumb studs being in the way of sharpening is a bit of a headache. Is like the heel of the blade right here is just a straight line up to the thumb studs. So it's kind of hard to avoid hitting those when you're sharpening it. But, you know, that comes with the territory for a cheap knife. You know, it's $5. It's on bearings. The 3CR does good for 3CR. Like, it's skookum is frig for your $5. Really hard to go wrong. But, you know, this is what happened with the Cardboard Slayer. And you know I love sharing with you what happens after Cardboard Slayer. This is what happened with this. We just got done with it. Overall, still very favorable opinion of it. I'll ding the ergonomics on it for a lot of extended repeated cuts over a long period of time. Not your friend. But for general everyday use for a concrete cowboy like myself, it's very good. It's fun to fidget with. It works well. It can be sharpened back up. Like, yeah, I can't find much in the way of faults here. The only fault that I found was a screw fell off on the other one, and that's it. And that screw was replaceable. It's a replaceable screw. I just had to customize one to fit it. So, again, that is the Cardboard Slayer experience with this thing. I still like it. Still very favorable. For $5, how can you lose? But all that being said, thanks for looking at my crap. Subscribers, you guys are awesome. Y'all keep coming in. I appreciate you so much. You guys make it possible to do stuff like put the Precision Adjust Professional on the channel. I can't thank y'all enough for that. If you haven't subscribed, please do. We do have giveaways coming up. I'm waiting on some stuff to come in. If you're not a channel member and you want to join, you have a shot at winning a CRKT Van Hoy snap lock or my personal Sin Cut Crowley. God, words are hard. That was a little over 8 hours of streaming, and I just finished that up. But, and you guys that showed up, thank you so much. It was a lot of fun. That was a great live stream. The vibe on it was great the whole night. But comments, I love some feedback. Let me know what you think about all this. And all that being said, y'all have a nice day.